Yo, peep this. You just clicked on Let's View It, and I'm Tyrone Cross. Welcome to my channel, so you already know. Let's view it. 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 What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It, the realest unscripted channel on YouTube. So I don't read shit, I just talk it. And if at the end of this video, if you like how I do what I do, please support your boy and subscribe and help support this channel and getting the truth out with a little twist of sarcasm. Can you do that for me, please? I mean, you wouldn't want to be a follower and do what everyone else does and not subscribe. So now that I'm done boosting my subscribers, let me get into this video. For y'all that don't know, California is the complete opposite of Florida when it comes to this LGBTQ thing. You know that wall that Donald Trump was going to build? Well, apparently they're trying to take that wall and put it between the parents and their kids. And the way they're building this wall is through the school programs. Right now in California, they're making a whole lot of policies that allow kids to go behind their parents' back and social transition through the schools, meaning act like a different gender or go by a different name. And the schools won't let the parents know this. The parents are completely left in the dark. And not only this, they are also sneaking in gender-affirming care books into elementary schools and reading them to the students. And as you can imagine, every good parent out there is not too pleased with this. So what are they doing? They're going out and protesting outside these schools to voice, their displeasure with all this. And in between the mix of all this chaos and protesting, the school board president decides she has a passionate message for all the naysayers. So you already know. Let's view it.
School board president Jackie Goldberg had a searing message for those who protested against LGBTQ plus inclusion in her district. Watch this.
When you have 2 or 3 days of this kind of chaos, of people screaming at the top of their lungs outside a school that read a book with one sentence in it that said, yeah, guess what? Families can include 2 moms and 2 dads. By the way, at the little discussion at the school after that, as soon as the book was over, one of the little girls sitting at my knees said, I have 2 mommies. But a little boy on my other side said, I have 5 grandmas. The idea that there are different kinds of families. The people screaming out at the streets, they didn't get a chance to find out about that because they made a decision based on hearsay. They made a decision based on agitators, not from their community, but from outside their community who saw an opportunity to take advantage of the real fears of people. I want to be very, very, very clear. Nobody has to accept me. I'm not looking for your acceptance. But you better treat me the same way you treat everybody else. That's how we live in this country. You don't have to love me. You don't have to like me. You can think I'm the devil incarnate. But you better treat me like a decent human being because that's how I treat you, even though you don't believe that I have the right to exist. I am very tired of having young people and adults in the LGBT community hear 3 days of yelling and screaming about this. What do you think that did to them? What do you think that did to every gay teacher, every gay custodian, every gay worker in this city, every gay kid? What do you think that did to them? It made them afraid. It made them afraid. How dare you make them afraid because you are? I'm sorry. I told you this was personal.
Well, tell me you're LGBTQ without telling me you're LGBTQ. Now, there's one thing I want the transgender community to really take from my video if they don't take anything else from this video. And that is, no matter how passionate and emotional you say something, it doesn't make it true. It does make it riveting though. And actually, I take that back. There's one more thing I want you guys to take from this video if you don't take anything else at all. And that is the LGBTQ Scratch that, the TQs cause most of the issues that they complain about. Most of what they complain about is either avoidable or just a natural part of life. And I'll explain that more while I dissect what this president of the school board just said. Now, she first starts out by presenting us with a book.
Outside a school that read a book with one sentence in it.
And she's saying this is what the whole protest and all this noise is about. But I can guarantee you that this book is only a little part of what this whole protest is about. But let's stick to the book for now. This book would have never been a problem if you would have got the parents' permissions first. Isn't that what you're supposed to do anyways? Anytime you talk about certain topics or certain issues that every parent might look at differently or want their kid to know about in a different way, especially sexual stuff. I remember anytime I was in school, anytime they had sex ed, I had to take a permission slip to my parents for them to sign and then bring it back saying that it was okay for them to talk to me about this stuff. And it was very basic, puberty, boys thinking girls are cute, girls thinking boys are cute, but very basic. If the parent said no, that student wasn't allowed to watch the video or hear the presentation. And it was never a big deal. So why not ask for permission slips if you're reading a book with some sexual stuff in it? That right away would have ended this protest if the protest was all about the book. But also, she mentioned
the people screaming out at the streets, they didn't get a chance to find out about that because they made a decision based on hearsay.
Well, whose fault is it that it's hearsay? I think I'm going to leave that in the rhetorical space. But one last thing I want to point out is she says,
outside a school that read a book with one sentence in it.
All that shows is that the book is trying to be sneaky. I don't see how it's any better for a book to try to slide in something they shouldn't than just be upfront with it and say, this is what the book is about. Gender affirmation. And then her emotional speech junctions off onto,
I'm not looking for your acceptance, but you better treat me the same way you treat everybody else.
You see, there's one problem with that whole theory and thought. The transgender community always wants exceptions. They are a community that just collects exceptions. They and them are plural pronouns, except when you're talking to a transgender. You're expected to use the bathroom as the gender you were born as, except if you're a transgender. You're expected to join the sports of the gender you were born as, except if you're a transgender. This has gone so far that transgenders really think that it's unfair medical surgery, getting top surgery or bottom surgery, or any gender affirming care is not free. Do they not take in consideration that there is literally dying people as we speak that cannot get the medical care they need, free or even paid for at times? But for some reason, if a transgender can't get medical care for free, it's all because of bigotry. For some reason, transgenders haven't heard the term, life isn't fair. And even if it isn't fair, they expect it to only not be fair for non-transgenders. And of course, their biggest gaslighting, that no one likes them and no one accepts them.
You don't believe that I have the right to exist.
This simply isn't true. I'm not saying that nobody hates transgenders. Look, there's somebody that hates somebody somewhere. There's a group of people that hate a group of people somewhere. There's somebody that hates me right now. There's someone giving me a thumbs down on this video talking about how much they hate me. The point is, hate will never go away. So why do you think your community is so special? It should be the first people that never experience hate. I mean, I get it. That would be nice. But it sounds impossible. But what I'm trying to get at is you guys are not trying to be treated like everybody else. You're trying to be treated like the exception. So then the president of the student board amps up her emotions even more when she starts talking about
of having young people and adults in the LGBT community hear 3 days of yelling and screaming about this. What do you think that did to them? What do you think that did to every gay teacher, every gay custodian, every gay worker in this city, every gay kid? What do you think that did to them? It made them afraid. It made them afraid. How dare you make them afraid because you are?
Where she got this information from, I don't know. But again, the only reason why the protests are there in the first place is because you left the parents out and you wanted to go behind their backs. And now it's you that wants to stand up there with your head held high, yelling at everybody, passionately trying your best to gaslight everybody that they made 3 kids scared in your school. Because we all know transgenders are only like 1% of the population. But now that I think about it, didn't you say this whole protest was over one sentence in a book? If that's the case, why would mommy and daddy being pissed off at one sentence in a book scare the kids? Can you explain that to me? I can guarantee you this, you yelling like a freak that they are scared would definitely make them start being scared, because they're going to assume by the way you're reacting that they're supposed to be scared. Why? Because you sound scared. It's like when someone just starts running for no reason and you start running with them like, why are we running? You don't know what's going on. You just know you're not supposed to feel safe right now. All because of the energy of the other person. You see how that works? Your own community gaslights your own community. It's crazy. You make your community weak. You make your community think there's a bunch of danger around when there's literally hardly any. Even if someone wanted to just hurt transgenders, it would be so hard to find one. It would be such a tedious task to try to hurt a handful of transgenders. You guys barely exist, and all you have to do is show a little respect to the parents of these kids. Stop trying to raise kids in school. Just teach them reading, writing, and arithmetics. Remember that? The 3 R's, ABCs, and the 3 R's are the only alphabets you need to be teaching our kids. Those are the only 2 alphabet communities you need to be concerned with. And I want to make one more point to prove that you guys are creating your own issues. The transgender community is creating their own issues. When I went to elementary school in the late 80s and 90s, this was never an issue. A girl wanting to be a boy or a boy wanting to be a girl was never an issue. Whether or not they were accepted was never an issue. Sometimes a girl acted like a boy and we called her a tomboy. She was just the cool girl that hanged out with the boys. None of the boys went up to this girl and said, hey, do you think you're actually a boy in a girl body? And even if anybody said that, trust me, it was a joke. There was an abundance of kids saying they were suicidal because they were trapped in the wrong body. And actually, if you really want to get technical, anybody that got bullied in physical form, not online. And everybody that got bullied back in those days usually lived into their adulthood. They did not turn to suicide because we did not preach such a thing. We did not teach weakness. We had sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We had I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. And I know you all remember the classic,
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
We were given tactics to stand up for ourselves. Nowadays, we tell kids they just feel sad and worthless. And that's what the trans community does to themselves. And really, at the end of the day, can you guys please tell me, why do you want to involve the kids so bad? What do you feel like you're losing so much of if you just agree, okay, we'll leave the kids out of it? What are you losing? And don't tell me, well, we're doing it for the trans kids. You guys are manipulating them into thinking this. I'll say it again. This wasn't a problem in the late 80s and the 90s. And I know the trans community is going to say, well, that's because more people are not afraid to come out. There's no way to prove that. You just want to say that. It could be simply that you're making more people think this way. Because as more people come out, guess what? More people are detransing too. There's literally no way to prove that more people are just coming out and not hiding it on the inside. Just like you cannot prove that someone that did not attempt suicide or commit suicide would have if certain things were different. That's impossible too. But now I'm drifting off the subject. But now that you know that the president of the school board told us she's LGBTQ without saying she's LGBTQ, all I need you guys to do is comment below. Tell me what you think. Do you think the transgender community is really ready to be treated like everybody else? Or how many kids do you think we scared with that protest? But while you're telling me your thoughts, I'm also gonna need you to hit that bell like the hunchback. Also click that hitchhiker button and sub ride with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. All my life. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Can't help I. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's why I. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.